Set against the backdrop of court litigation, mediation is quick and efficient and provides an opportunity for the people involved to take time out of the busy schedules, to have an effective conversation, to speak openly and freely on a without prejudice basis, say what they want to say without it being held against them, and focus on trying to reach a resolution without the distractions of everyday life or everything else that might ordinarily be going on around them. Based upon my experience and that of my fellow mediators, the chance of settlement at mediation or shortly thereafter is extremely high. Whereas a judge in court litigation might make a determination and the court timetable dictate what you have to do and by when, mediation empowers people to resolve their own disputes on their own terms at their own pace without being dictated to or feeling under pressure. So to anyone thinking about whether to mediate, I would say this: why not? What have you got to lose?
Locator, and welcome to our short video series, Meet the Mediators. In this series, we're getting to know the people behind the role. For background, Mediator Locator is a national mediation service connecting clients, law firms and organisations where we try to find the right mediator for your case. Mediation is all we do. We're not a directory. We actually take the trouble to get to understand the issues and pair you with the right mediator. And this series is a great way to see the human side of mediation and why choosing the right mediator can make all the difference. I'm delighted today to be joined by Peter Harling from Chadwick Lawrence. So let's get started. Peter, perhaps you can say a few words about your professional background and the path that led you to where you are now.
Morning, Stuart. Thank you, and thanks for having me on. So in terms of my professional background, I never aspired to be a solicitor or a mediator. From an early age, I was always encouraged to do what I enjoy and be the best that I can be. I enjoy sport, in particular football and tennis, and believe it or not, I've got a sports science degree. I anticipated being a PE teacher or analysing and improving the performance of athletes, but whilst looking for a future in sports science, I started working at Chadwick Lawrence, and half my life later, some 21 years, after a lot of hard work, patience and further studies, I've worked my way up from office junior to partner, as well as becoming an accredited mediator.
Excellent. That's a different route. I don't think there's too many people that have come through that direction. So good for you. And how did you get into mediation specifically?
In terms of how I came to mediation, well, as I say, I'm a solicitor and a partner in Chadwick Lawrence's dispute resolution team. And if anybody ever asked me, I would describe my primary role as being to project manage and resolve commercial and contractual disputes on behalf of individuals, businesses and insolvency practitioners as quickly and as efficient as possible, whilst providing a first-class customer service that represents excellent value for money. What I enjoy doing is finding practical and commercial solutions to problems and negotiating favourable settlements. So having been involved in many mediations over the years, I saw firsthand how helpful a process mediation was in resolving disputes. And it was as a result of that, as well as being encouraged by Chadwick Lawrence's managing partner, Neil Wilson, that I became an accredited mediator.
And I think, there's so many benefits to mediation, the cost, efficiency, the fact that you get a huge peace dividend. I totally understand the reward. It is very satisfying, which leads me on to the next question. What do you personally find most rewarding when you're acting as a mediator or advising parties as a mediator?
So as an accredited mediator, my role in the mediation process is to be impartial and neutral, listen, hold a safe space for everyone involved equally, and chair and guide the people involved through the mediation journey to have an effective and constructive conversation so that they can work through their own issues towards a mutually agreeable resolution, helping free up any blockages that there may be along the way. The aim of mediation is helping the people involved resolve their issues amicably and ultimately settlement. A settlement being reached is therefore rewarding, but it's the byproduct of settlement that I find most rewarding and the positive impact it has on people in their lives and wellness, which is perhaps best summarised by a short message I received after a recent mediation. I'll just pull that up now. Peter, you won't believe how much stress, anger and frustration will now be taken from our daily thoughts. We've been looking forward to having this feeling of no worries to fret over for at least 6 years when we sold the business and retired. I can't fault the support you have given during this process, and we are more than delighted that we can now focus our time on just enjoying our freedom of retirement and enjoying our golden years. We know we're not the easiest to work with, but your skills and knowledge finally delivered the result beyond our expectations. We are so pleased we were paired together.
That's a fantastic testimonial. I mean, that's amazing. And you mentioned there that they said they'd been in this dispute for 6 years. How long did the mediation take?
The mediation took hours. It was a day's mediation.
I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? You've got 6 years of stress and anxiety, and you solve it in a day. That's a perfect example of the power of mediation. Amazing, thank you. And you've got a kind of broad commercial background. Are there any particular types of dispute that you especially enjoy mediating?
Well, I specialise in all manner of disputes, including commercial and contractual disputes, cryptocurrency, director disqualification, employment issues, whether that be between the employees or an employer and an employee, intellectual property, property disputes, shareholder and business owner disputes, and disputes involving restrictive covenants in employment contracts and commercial agreements. To answer your question, basically, I would like to think that I can help anyone resolve any sort of dispute.
Yeah.
What I enjoy the most about mediation is helping and guiding people through the mediation process and enabling them to have an effective and constructive conversation, which in turn allows them to work through their own issues towards hopefully what is a mutually agreeable resolution.
Excellent. And you sort of summarised a little bit before about the sort of what's often known as the peace dividend. What's your view the biggest benefit of mediation? If you just had to choose one benefit, for example.
Oh, one benefit. Well, there's a number of benefits. If we go one step back, a word of warning that I provide at the outset to anyone thinking about embarking upon court litigation is that it's not a nice process. It's one that will occupy your mind most of, if not all of the time. It's both timely and costly with no guarantee of success. Embarking on court proceedings comes with all of the associated time, management time, effort, expense and risk, including adverse cost risk. It might take 12, 18, 24 months, or in some cases more, for a judge to make a final determination at trial. And even those who are as successful as they can be are still likely to be out of pocket from the perspective of irrecoverable costs. Mediation is perhaps the opposite of that. Set against the backdrop of court litigation, mediation is quick and efficient and provides an opportunity for the people involved to take time out of the busy schedules, to have an effective conversation, to speak openly and freely on a without prejudice basis, say what they want to say without it being held against them, and focus on trying to reach a resolution without the distractions of everyday life or everything else that might ordinarily be going on around them. Based upon my experience and that of my fellow mediators, the chance of settlement at mediation or shortly thereafter is extremely high. Whereas a judge in court litigation might make a determination and the court timetable dictate what you have to do and by when, mediation empowers people to resolve their own disputes on their own terms at their own pace without being dictated to or feeling under pressure. So to anyone thinking about whether to mediate, I would say this: why not? What have you got to lose?
Yeah, and it's cheap, it's quick, and it was almost always successful. So you'd be crazy not to give it a try, unless there's very, very good reasons. So no, I totally agree. Thank you for that, Peter. And finally, if you're happy to, are you able to give a quick comment about your experience of working with Mediator Locator?
Yeah, of course, it'd be a pleasure, Stuart. Both Mediator Locator and I share the same view that mediation is a hugely powerful but underused dispute resolution tool. The Mediator Locator concept is an excellent and well thought out one, and the work that you have done to assemble a panel of partner firms and expert mediators is highly commendable. Both myself and Chadwick Lawrence are proud to partner with Mediator Locator, and between us we would welcome the opportunity to try and help resolve any dispute which you may have as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Brilliant. Thanks, Peter. That's great. Much appreciated. So that brings this session to a conclusion, and I'd just like to thank everybody for watching Meet the Mediators. If you'd like to learn more about mediation or help or for us to help you find the right mediator, please get in touch at mediatorlocator.com. And if you'd like to instruct Peter, do get in touch and we can definitely set that up. And thank you very much. And until next time, goodbye for now.